Hi there, Loy Machedo, speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. I was very surprised to get this question from some of my group members over the period of time. They have been asking me, how can I handle stress? Or, like, can you give me tips for peace of mind? Now, why it was surprising is normally this kind of problem is faced by people who are in their 40s or older than that. These were youngsters in their 20s, and the youngest one I think was even 18. So I was like, I was kind of curious and baffled as to why nowadays youngsters are asking more about peace of mind and stress. What is actually bothering them? Which led me to do a little bit of research, and I found out it's predominantly because of social media, the involvement in social media. Today, everyone's interconnected, everyone's opinions are being bombarded on each other. You are under pressure to see how many likes, comments, shares, what is your value among your peers. Then you compare yourself to someone much better than you or a celebrity. So this has totally kind of eroded the peace of mind or the happiness factor people have. So in this video, I've gathered 17 points, 17, of what I have done to ensure I have peace of mind or how I have handled stress. And mind you, I'm a guy who is literally on social media 24/7 because that's my livelihood. So it's not that I can get away from it. I get people who give me random calls, random messages, threatening emails, and some people just keep trolling non-stop, okay, because I have a different opinion to theirs. So I've used this strategy, see what is useful for you. I've given 17 points. Check which are these points. Let me know the ones that you're currently using. And if there is one that I've missed or you feel this one really works, do mention it down below because maybe it can help even me or people that I know. And if I feel something is really worth it, I'll definitely pin your comment and that can help other people. So here are the 17 points, starting with point number 1. If you do have a problem, whatever it is, I always tell people address that core issue first, because unless you address that core issue, it's not going to go. I've met people who say, Loy, I'm going for a holiday. I'll go for 7 days and I'll relax. Okay, you go for 7 days, but when you come back, you're coming back to the same problem, right? Whatever the problem is, that 7 days is just temporary fix. Or some people say, I'm going to go for a party with my friends or might drink a little bit or yeah, that's all temporary. And sometimes using substances to calm yourself down gets you even worse. So I tell people, whatever the problem is, deal with it first. It's like, example, I'll give you a small example. A guy tells me, I can't sleep, I'm getting a headache, I'm getting body ache, I'm getting all these problems. So, the person says so many things. And finally, when you ask, why are you getting body aches? Oh, because I'm not sleeping. Why are you not sleeping? Because I have a headache. Why are you getting a headache? Because I have a toothache. Then finally it comes down to the problem. Oh, you have a toothache. Why aren't you treating that? Oh, because I'm very afraid of the dentist and I'm scared of going to the dentist. So if he were to treat the toothache, then, he won't have a headache. Then he'll be able to sleep properly. Then his body will not ache. So address the core issue first, whatever that is, whether it's your boss, whether it's your work environment, whether it's a relationship, you must deal with it. Okay. Point number 2 is, what if you don't know how to deal with it? What if it's like, I just don't know what to do? Then find someone who can actually guide you through this process, who has experience, who has expertise, or who has, kind of a base knowledge that he can guide you. I was watching this documentary on YouTube where a BMX cyclist, when he is a world champion, during practice, he kind of had an accident and he damaged his spine, because of which he ended up on a wheelchair. Now he is paraplegic. He's below the waist. He can't move his legs. And he got into a severe depression. And for almost 8 months, he didn't go out of the house. He was sobbing, crying. He was sitting at home. Life was very tough. So finally, I think his brother or his friend decided to, really shock him out of this. So he took him to one of the NASCAR, this sporting event. I'll put the link below for that video. So when he went there, he was meeting everyone, and that kind of just took him out of that depression mode. And to his shock and surprise, he met one guy who was the manager of a NASCAR team. and he was on a wheelchair. And this guy, he was surprised to see this guy managing the entire team on a wheelchair, and he was very positive. He was full of energy. And as he started to talk to him, he realized this guy maybe was 20 years on a wheelchair, and how he overcame all this depression and how he was living his life. And he was actually able to relate to him and guide him. And when he came back, he was not the same guy, because now he gave him that the motivation, the strategies, and the ways how to deal with this. So sometimes you need to meet with someone who's more accomplished, or who has been through what you're being through, or someone who you believe can guide you. Can be a mentor, can be a relative, can be someone who inspires you. So ask guidance from someone more accomplished. Point number 3 is, let's assume that no matter what you do, you went to people, you tried everything, still it's not able to solve itself. Then I think the prayer of serenity, I think, works its wonders. See, the prayer is very powerful. It says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between both. I think if you just focus on this prayer itself and understand its words, it will change your life. There are some things you cannot change. Let's say, for example, people tell me, hey man, you look like shit. You look ugly. Fine. What can I do about it? Oh yeah, let's say, someone tells you you're not highly educated, okay, or you're not very rich and successful. No, these are things beyond your control. You can do your best, but maybe you can never achieve that. So accept it. You do your best, try to change. Whatever you can change, you try to change. And the rest, just accept it, right? Like even a relationship, maybe some of you are looking for love. You're looking for a relationship. Maybe you're looking for a job in a multinational company. Maybe you're looking to migrate to a better country. And no matter what you did, you still are unable to achieve that. So do your best, but leave the rest. No? You can't change everything on this planet. So can't solve it, learn to accept it, and work on things that you can. Point number 4, this one is super important, which I think you should consider. See, now a guy like me is 24/7 on social media. I can't leave that because it's my bread and butter. But for most of you, social media is an option. Let's say Facebook. Facebook doesn't pay your bills. It is not something that will help you live. People say, yeah, it gets in touch with my relatives, but they are not your lifeline. They're some relative, hi, how are you? Once a while, you say hi. WhatsApp groups, WhatsApp. That is only if you are having business conversations. If you need WhatsApp, fine, but you don't need to join all the groups. There is one client of mine who literally, every group of mine, I have 11 groups, he's in all the 11 groups, and he will sit and chat and argue. Sometimes I feel he doesn't have a thing to do in life. And then he gets in touch with me and tells me, Loy, I'm under tremendous stress and this and that. And then eventually when we talk, I realize that he is pissed off because someone argued with him on this WhatsApp group, or he had a difference of opinion, or this person is not able to understand what he's saying. So I just told him, listen, I think it's time you just leave the groups. Just leave the groups. Stay away from it. Close your Facebook account. Close your Instagram account. Close your, get off all these groups. Just stay. But he's so addicted that he wants to be there no matter what. So what can I do about it? So remember, if it is your bread and butter, fine, you need to be there. But if it's not, then it's optional. 2 of my clients, they have closed down their Facebook, closed down their Instagram, closed down their TikTok. And these are people who were models and were very famous and, very popular, because it becomes too toxic. That is why you see so many celebrities just getting off. They call it detox, digital detox. Point number 5 is, this one is, I think, also a very effective one, which I've done. You need to block off toxic people. It can be a father, it can be a mother, it can be a brother, it can be a sister, it can be someone who's sarcastic. Unfortunately, you can't do that in your office if your boss is one or if your colleague is one. So if you can break off from toxic people, whether it's your spouse, your girlfriend, your father, mother, whatever, break off from them, get away from them as far as possible. It'll help you, really help you. Now, if it's your boss, you can't do so. Minimize your interaction. Just do what is work related and get away as far as possible. For me, if someone is toxic and I can't bear, I straight away just do whatever I can to make sure I don't engage with those people. In fact, today you could say I'm absolutely alone, because I don't get along with a lot of people. I don't blame them. Maybe it's me, but I need my peace of mind. Point number 6 is block off everything that bothers you. This is very effective if, especially you're on social media. There are a lot of people who, it's not just your haters. Like, for example, under my YouTube channel, I get a lot of people giving me bad words, giving my wife, giving my child. If their comments are in disagreement, fine. But if it's personal attacks, I just block them, because how much do you need to deal with, man? And if it was, there are some celebrities who have millions of followers, they don't check their accounts. They have managers or teams that deal with it, so they're not bothered. But if you're someone like me who reads every comment, and engages with your community, then sometimes you need the peace of mind. There are people who will do nothing but just attack me. No matter, I put good, they'll attack. Bad, attack. Anything. So I just block them. I mean, why do I need to listen to that crap? So even for you, if there's anyone who blocks you now, mind you, there are some people who are like not bad, but their post may irritate you. Like, seriously, there are some people who just want to show you their life is better than yours. They are more successful than, they are not actually telling you directly. So if that bothers you and you can't block them, at least unfollow them so you don't have to see or read what they say. That is another strategy, point number 6. Point number 7, I think this one requires discipline. Focus on you, not on others. Sometimes my wife comes and tells me, oh, this neighbor did this, or this lady did this, or this friend of mine did that. So I know for a fact that she is very inquisitive, because, she comes from the village and they all know each other and it's a small little world. But what she doesn't sometimes pay attention to is, when she sees someone doing something, it influences her. For instance, she loves gold. And like, she doesn't think about it. But the minute her friend or someone in the village bought something of gold, wow, see, she bought gold. Oh, wow, see how big the chain is. Oh, wow, see, the husband has given this to a wife. So it does influence people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I think it's very important to be so busy with yourself, you don't look at other people. If you're looking at other people to inspire yourself and to drive you and to give something positive, that is okay. But if it is kind of distracting you and not causing any benefit, then you really need to focus on yourself, not on others. Because end of the day, remember, I tell people who are so obsessed about me, who keep attacking me, why you focusing on me is not going to help you. Focus on yourself. Number 8 is, if you're depressed, if you have issues or stress or whatever, do get busy. I tell people, get busy. Like, people who have broken relationships, or they are hurt, or they're going through a divorce, or they have lost their job, or things are not working well, or the business is not earning that much money, and after doing everything else they still have this. I tell them, get busy. When you're busy doing something, it can be anything: cleaning the room, sorting out things, going down for a walk, or doing some physical activity, anything physical, or even for that matter, learning a new skill like typing, or reading a book, or cooking, or cleaning the house, the toilets, or sorting things out. When you're busy, that time your mind will not think about this. So it can be anything. Just get busy. The more busy you are, the better it is. Number 9 is work towards getting. Now, that was busy with no direction. But if you want a direction, focus on getting better. That is, learn a new skill. Let's say, for example, you're not very good at typing. If you focus on typing, you have to really work on it. And if you take some of those competitive tests, how to improve your speed, then you really have to pay attention. Even video games. Sometimes when you play the video game, you really want to develop a skill. You have to adjust your left and right, your finger movements, dexterity. That really keeps you busy. And at least for that, those few minutes, it keeps you preoccupied. So I think focus on a habit. A habit, it can be anything, even fasting for that matter, even exercising. So any new habit, or it can be learn public speaking, So learn a new skill. Number 10 is, if it's not learning a new habit, eliminate an old habit. In my case, it was, food. I was eating sugar, I was eating chocolates, I was eating ice creams, I was stuffing my mouth 24/7. Now, ever since I've started this intermittent fasting that I don't eat until 9 o'clock, it's funny if I tell you this, but instead of focusing on my problems, I'm focusing now on food. I'm thinking, what will I eat? What will I plan? Where will I go? So At least, okay, fine. If not, the problem, I'm focusing on something else. So sometimes it can really help you. Like, is it your weight? Is it like even maybe a simple bad habit like smoking, drinking, scratching yourself, or doing funny? Like, I have a client of mine who nods his head like this. I've told him, stop doing that, because he's Indian. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So, so focus on eliminating one bad habit, because always remember, white sheet, black dot. People only look at that black dot. So your personality is so amazing and so large, but people only focus on the one bad thing. Number 11 is change. Have you noticed if you go for a holiday, you tend to forget your problems? Have you noticed if you change your location, or you buy, maybe new clothes, or maybe something new? I'm not saying buy new things, but a change in your residence, change in the even the company, the group you keep, the friends you have, the groups you join, the location that you're based. This itself, I've seen tremendous changes. Like, I've seen people who, when they stayed in a cold country, I had a Russian client, cold country, he was staying there. He was always depressed. Now he moved over to a tropical climate. Now he's very happy. Then there are people who, from extreme cold, went to extreme heat. Then there are people who went from extreme heat to extreme cool. And not that they liked it very much, but the very fact it was a new climate, a new place, that shocked them out of their, that rut that they were in. In fact, sometimes if you change a new group, or even have new friends, or a new company that you joined, that itself shocks you, instead of being like in your comfort zone of being depressed. So try change. Number 12 is this one I'm used to very frequently. You see, I'm staying alone right now in my room. Solitude is very important. Sometimes just silence, not even music. Don't listen to music, don't listen to anything. Just quiet. In the quietness, sometimes that noise can get too loud, then eventually it vanishes. And if you check most of these documentaries where they speak on solitary confinement, you'll realize how powerful being in solitude is. Number 13, which is almost everyone will tell you, exercise, any form of exercise, walking, running, but just make sure that you do it right, and don't do it if you have any existing medical conditions, especially if your knees are bad or your back is bad. Then seek guidance, but exercise always helps. It can be anything. Go for a walk, simplest one, walk. You can go for a swim, go to the gym. And you don't have to do high intensity workouts. If you can, it's great, and it'll help you sleep also. But if you do basic, like when I started going to the gym after nearly, I think, after another 6 years, I was just doing like the lightest weight, like a person can do with, 2 fingers, they can pull that, like 2, 3 fingers. I was doing the same weight. I was just doing for the movement. Now I have definitely increased it, not heavy, but movement of the body itself helps you. Point number 14 is write down your thoughts. I have now purchased a couple of physical diaries with a pen and many, many types of pencils. So sometimes I just scribble, I write, even though I'm used to typing on Google Docs, I just write down some thoughts. Maybe it may make sense, may not make sense. Journaling is a good idea. Writing a diary is a good idea. When I think almost 15 years of my life, especially when I was alone and confused when I was a young man, I used to write every single day a diary. Can be anything. Can be your thoughts, can be what you did for the day, can be random stuff, can be just ideas. Just keep jotting down. In my case, I have this diary. I just jot down ideas on a sheet of paper. Always helps. Number 15 is sleep. If you do not have sleep, that itself can be the result of many of your problems. I sleep. I take plenty of naps. Like today, I took around two times. I had 2 different naps. Yeah, it can be intermittent fasting for me because it's, I feel weak sometimes because I also do physical exercise. But stress also. One of my clients, he's going through a lot of stress. So I have told him, take multiple naps throughout the day. So he takes 5 to 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. He takes 3 naps during the day because his business is really, faltering. Now, obviously, by taking naps, that doesn't mean his business will work well, but at least he'll have clarity. So always sleep. And one of the tips I'll give you where sleep is concerned, sleep when it is silent. If you have noise cancellation devices, use that. Make sure your bed is comfortable, not, there are not things in it. It should be, a nice bed. You don't have to buy an expensive mattress. I sleep on the floor. The floor is the best. Initially, it might be very uncomfortable, but remember, we are meant to sleep on a hard surface, okay? And it should be cool, because if it is hot, some people find it very hard. Cool, I'm not saying ice cold, but a cold shower will definitely help you. Cold shower is always good, but when you sleep after this cold shower, if the room is cool, your body will really, really go into a deep sleep. Okay, it should be silent. Number 16 is meditation, and by meditation, I'm not saying chant Om or any god's name or anything. If you want, you can do that. The best meditation format I have found out is the one with SSY, Siddha Samadhi Yoga. You can check them out. What they tend to do is just sit down. Like, for example, if I were to do it now, I just sit down. It's proper, comfortable. The chair should be hard. It should not be a sinking surface, because then it distracts you. After you sat down, or if you have one of those, beanie bags, okay, you will sit in that. It'll sink in, and just let it be. Just sit down. Don't do anything. Yes, thoughts will come in. Don't try to fight those thoughts, because if you try to fight them, then again your mind is active. Just let go. Just let go. Keep quiet. At some point, I'll tell you, through practice, give it first try, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and keep a stopwatch. And the stopwatch, the alarm should not be like an explosion. It should be a slow crescendo where it wakes you up slowly. Okay, so you get out of that meditation. And yes, initially you do not know whether you're doing it right or wrong, but the key to know whether you've done it well is when you sit down for meditation, it should zone you out. And when you open your eyes, you should feel like, how many minutes? Like, where I realized I was really meditating was when I closed my eyes, and I would feel like, oh, did I meditate? Yes or no? And when I checked the watch, it went for 45 minutes. It went for 15 minutes. Means, yes, you have managed to do it. Slow and steady. Maybe if you want, I'll make a separate video on this. And last, if not the least, I think this is the final one, is I think you need to really look at those who are less fortunate than yourself. Sometimes we are so into ourselves. We are into this self-pity mode. We are into, oh, poor me, or we are just so focused on ourselves. We compare ourselves to people who are better than us. We forget that, there are people who don't even have the same blessings that you have. Don't have the mother, the father, the hands, the legs, the friends, the money. Yes, your life may not be perfect. Yes, you want better things. But there are people who don't have hands, legs, who have had an accident, who lost their loved ones, who lost all their money. Imagine people in Indonesia, earthquakes, people in Pakistan, floods, people. There are these cases of Indian youngsters who went to USA. The father, mother spent all their money, sent their youngsters, their children to study there. They got shot dead. Just imagine what they are going through. So your life is really much better than most of these people. So stop moaning and groaning. Stop complaining. You're much better than the guy sleeping on the streets who has no hope and no future. Sometimes I think we need to be grateful about this. So when you look at this and you spend time with the less fortunate and doing something for them, your heart will grow with gratitude. So these are the 17 points in terms of how to deal with stress and help in peace of mind. Let me know if this really helped you. And if I missed out on anything, feel free to comment down below, because it will help other people. Good, bad, ugly, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. This is me signing off. You guys take care.